Yeah, well, I'm Tessa with Mama's Geeky. Thank you both so much for taking the time.
Thank
Of
you.
course. Thanks for having us.
Oh my gosh, I'm so looking forward to this movie. So I just recently watched like all the Conjuring movies back to back to back,
Hmm.
and that was a terrifying experience. I decided to watch the first one at like 10 o'clock at night for whatever reason, and now my daughter follows me around clapping, and it's not funny.
No.
It's terrible.
That's amazing.
She's
Yeah.
12 and a half, and she's like, you're more scared than I am.
Yeah.
For you guys, I want to know what your experience was like when you first watched the Conjuring movies.
Similar to yours, I think. I was terrified. I think they do a really effective job of being super scary, but I loved them too because they have the relationship that you really get invested in between Ed and Lorraine, but then they have these amazing epic scares and it takes you on a ride. I was terrified.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, especially the clap in the first one, that's a
Oh,
classic. I mean, yeah,
No.
definitely. Oh, whenever I'm in my house alone and like hear someone's like, oh no, they've come. It's time. Um, no, I think, yeah, to Madison's point too, just like the first one, obviously incredible, but then as it continues to progress, just like, yeah, getting even deeper in the characters and deeper in their world and deeper in their relationship, just it's just a good watch, like all around. Typically, I'm okay with scary movies, but they can really get me sometimes. Yeah.
It's like the psychological aspect of it, I think, that gets you. It's not just jump scares. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You think
That's
about
what
it
it
as you're
is.
going to sleep and you're like, oh, this isn't good.
The hands coming out of the closet. No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. Lights
absolutely.
on. Lights on.
Yeah.
No. And the Crooked Man, not a fan of the Crooked Man.
No.
Yeah, the way like moves coming at
Yeah.
you, not good.
Oh,
No.
Not good at all.
yeah, it works on me. It
Yeah.
really works on me.
Yeah. So what was it like for you guys to join? Were you like, because obviously, now you'll get to see how it's made behind the scenes type of stuff. So what was your first thoughts on joining the franchise?
Yeah, I feel like aside from extreme excitement and just being super stoked and grateful to join the Conjuring universe, I was really excited to get a peek behind the curtain and see how they did all these things. I'm like, what did you guys? And I had so many questions. I'm like, how did you guys do this? And um, but it was really fun to see how they execute these scary moments and just the worlds that they create, the sets, everything. My initial thought was curiosity, and then it all just exceeded expectations.
Being able to peek behind the curtain was so cool. I had this like moment of realization when I was working with Michael Shavs and we were talking through these scenes and like running through what it was going to be. He's like, okay, so this moment, that's when the audience is going to be scared. I'm like, oh, he's thinking of it already. Like he knows each moment's like what's going to happen. And just being able to be like, okay, so that's what we're creating. And, being able to lean into that was a very cool experience.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see more of Ed and Lorraine. I always love when we get like little flashbacks or little moments. So I'm really, really excited to see the two of you portray them and see. But what can you tease about what we get to see between the two of you?
What can we tease? I don't think there's much we
Not
can
much.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, watch the trailer 100 times and then there's a lot of clues in there. I will say that. Just like
Okay.
keep watching the trailer and there's some great moments in there.
Awesome. I love it. How much did you work with obviously like Ed and Lorraine are so people look at those actors and they go, that's Ed and Lorraine. You know what I'm saying? And so for you guys, like how much did you get to work with them to talk about like mannerisms and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely big shoes to fill, but
Mhm.
both Vera and Patrick are so wonderful actors and people, and they were really so supportive and encouraging of us. And they were open books. They answered any questions. They were down to talk about anything and everything. And it was, yeah, a really collaborative process. And they were there for us.
I love
Yeah,
that.
Supportive.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. Like, yeah, they went through even the specifics of, yeah, mannerisms, of voice, of character, of past, present, like everything that they are was so cool to like be able to just hear their opinions on that and just be able to try and reproduce what they've so successfully done for so many incredible movies.
Yeah, because we don't know like everything about them, obviously, in their past, but I
Hmm.
imagine like they have created stuff in their heads. You know what I mean?
For
Yeah.
sure. And it was really like the core of the characters, like the fundamental moments. And we get little glimpses, through the movies. Like if you just did the rewatch, then there are like moments they
Yeah,
talk about meeting each other, or like, nobody believed me, but then she did, so I married her.
I
These
know.
things that are little glimpses that hopefully will be, even strengthened by seeing the younger version of them portrayed.
It's so interesting because you have this like adorable little love story in the middle of like
Yeah.
terror, So what is it like bringing
Yeah.
that to life?
Yeah, I feel like their connection is so important and it is the heart of the movie. And it's one of the reasons I love The Conjuring so much because it has depth to it and you really care about their relationship and their connection. And I think for us, it was like just clocking in with each other and being present with each other. And I felt so supported and safe working with Orion, like to do and go to all these crazy places. So I feel like it was just really being present with each other and just enjoying each other's company because they seemed to so much.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, while the camera's rolling and while it's not rolling, just like being there for each other and, sitting in the little tent on the stage while we wait for lights to be set up and just sitting there in between these super intense takes and these super intense moments and just being able to sit and just be present and be like, hey, how's it going? How you feel? It just goes a long way. And it's been great.
Hey, I was gonna ask what it's like on something like this when they like call cut and you're like in the middle of, do you just like what is that feeling like? How do you get back to like normal after something like
Oh my
that?
gosh. I feel like
Yeah.
I have to maintain sort of like a a wall around me kind of because these scenes are they're high stakes, it's horror and it's about pacing yourself. So I feel like when they call cut you're relieved but you're also like okay, I kind of have to protect this energy that is going on. So you're sort of just like in this limbo trying to hold on to something but also relax a little bit.
hmm Yeah, I agree. I think, especially during the day, I have a memory of like in the middle of a scene that's like, high emotion and it's like intense. And then it was on my close up. And then we cut and they're like, all right, that's lunch. We'll continue the close up after. We'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, what am I gonna do? So yeah, kind of both holding on to it, but like letting it go. And then at the end of the day, I would take a long bath. That was my thing. Just like let it all go. Um, and then wake up the next day and start again.
I feel like I would have nightmares after.
Well, I had a hard time sleeping. I think,
Did you?
yeah, I did. And whether that was because The Conjuring was affecting me or because, I don't know, but I had a really hard time coming down at the end of the day. Even though you're exhausted, I think your mind is racing and you're in this scary world and you're alone in the dark. And I
Mhm.
definitely was like, I can't sleep.
Yeah, we talked a lot between the two of us about like, um, what are they called? Like the different like sleep sound effects that you can listen to, like white noise or orange noise or all that stuff. And we'd be like, oh yeah, I tried this one tonight. Like this one was good. And you'd be like, oh yeah, orange, I should check that out.
Yeah.
I love
So
it.
that was definitely a conversation on set.
Yeah, I mean, after watching them, I'm like, I have to sleep with my feet inside, and I hate sleeping with my feet inside a blanket. But I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
not hanging my feet.
Oh, I'm like socks on. Yeah, I'm the worst with socks.
It's like it's terrible. Do either of you have like a moment that you can talk about that was like really memorable for you while filming? It could be offset or while filming.
You got,
Um,
I feel like you gotta tell
It's
me.
it's the go-to. There's this moment that was on set that's like probably the most like haunted, spooky moment that happened on set. It was our first take while we were filming. This door that wasn't supposed to move at all at just like the most opportune moment. It was like pause, door creaks open, and everyone on set was like, what just happened? Like, are you serious? And we looked around like, no, okay, the PAs didn't do it. Nobody, was around this door. So they put a sandbag behind it. We're like, all right, we just got to keep going. Nothing we can do. But that was definitely a memory to take away for sure.
That was goosebumps. Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
be like, I quit. Like,
That's it.
Not worth
thank you
it.
for the opportunity,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Appreciate the opportunity. I'll find something else. Thank you.
Changed my mind.
right.
Yeah.
Let's go with a rom-com. That sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your, without spoilers, what was your reaction when you first read the script?
I think when you know that you've gotten cast in it, you're like, whoa, we're gonna do all of this. And so for me, it's sort of this, oh wow, we're gonna do this. I'm so curious to see how this is gonna be executed. But also, I was just really excited
Yeah.
to bring it to life.
Yeah, I agree. Because kind of similar to just like talking about the horror movie genre, it is so different than a rom-com. Like there is so much more like action in between. And there is aspects of like, oh, how are we gonna pull that off? Like what is this gonna look like on set? How much of it is gonna be like practical right there? How much is,
Yeah.
is gonna be like you kind of gotta just react to something that's off camera. Um, so really, yeah, reading it from that perspective was kind of a new experience for me.
Well, off of that, how much of it was really practical around you, would you say?
Most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I'd say without getting into details,
yeah.
there was definitely a lot that was like, whoa, this is a lot.
I was gonna say, what is
Yeah.
it like being in that?
Well, the production design is incredible, and the sets that they build
Mhm.
are amazing. The attention to detail is phenomenal. You could just spend hours and hours and days looking at every little thing. It's truly so fun to walk into a world that's been so meticulously created. I was just blown away by all of the details. So fun.
Have you seen the final cut yet?
I have not seen the full final cut yet. I'm so excited to see it.
I is there one thing that you can talk about that you're most excited to see like come to life or that you can tease?
Gosh. I don't know. I don't think there's anything I'm allowed to say, but I'm
I know,
excited.
I'm
I
sure.
think that there's a lot of nuggets that Conjuring fans, which I am one of, will really enjoy and will be really satisfying. So I'm excited to see all of those moments come to life.
I mean, just like the whole thing, seeing it, especially like on IMAX. I remember one of my friends got a movie on IMAX, and I was like, I gotta get there.
Yeah.
So like seeing this movie in a setting like that on such a big screen, like it's gonna be such a cool experience. That's really what I'm looking forward to.
As long as there's no Crooked Man in IMAX, I think I'm good. I can't
Yeah.
with the Crooked Man. I'm like, he could go away forever and ever and ever, and I'm not going to be mad at it. Well, to close it out, is there one movie that maybe scared you a lot as a kid?
Blair Witch Project was it horrified me. And I was like, this is real. I remember that was one of the first horror movies I saw. And I was like, oh my God, I was terrified.
Yeah, that one got me too. How about you, Orion?
You're saying top horror movie, I mean, outside of the Conjuring universe,
Yeah.
um, Hereditary really got
Oh
me.
my gosh,
That
that's
one, like, really couldn't sleep. That one was very scary.
that's a
That's a
good
good one.
one.
That's a
Hmm.
good one. I mean, The Conjuring has so many classic moments though throughout. Like I said, Crooked Man, but the nun coming out of the like painting,
Hmm.
Oh,
the
yeah.
hands.
Absolutely.
I can't wait
Yeah.
to see what we get in this last one. So thank you both so much for your time, and I can't wait to see you guys in this.
Thank you so
Nice.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.